Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and as promised when I did my last Stranger Things pinball impressions, I told you guys I was going to come back when I was done doing most of the mods that I wanted to do on this machine, and today is that day. We have almost 20 different mods that I added to this machine. It is kind of insane. I didn't expect to have this many. The community has been great on Pinside, supporting me and giving me some of these to show off to you guys. Of course, some of these I bought. Because I really wanted them in the machine. Some of these mods already came on the machine when I bought the machine that we're going to be talking about, but almost 20 mods that I personally did, and then another 5 or 6 that were already on the machine. So in total, we have 25 different mods that are on this machine. So we're going to talk about all of them and show you guys what I did. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a brekkie is the gaming tech. Gaming tech is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
All right, guys, so let's go ahead and talk about all of the mods that I did with Stranger Things, and obviously you guys are seeing some very easily that we're going to talk about here. I have over 15 different mods, almost 20 mods that I did to this machine. I basically have everything on this machine that I could possibly want, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 that I have my eye on that we'll talk about at the end of the video. But man, I did not expect to do 15 plus mods on this machine when I bought it. I will let you guys know. One, because I didn't expect to, get this many this quickly. But also, more importantly, is that I was nervous to open up this Playfield and get underneath it and install some of these mods because I've never had a pinball machine before. I've never worked on a pinball machine before, and even though I have IT experience and built computers for years, still never played with a pinball machine before. And as you can tell, I have short ceilings, so when I want to lift the Playfield, I kind of have to do it with 2 people and have the Playfield being held in place up in the air as far as it goes. I can't push it up against the back box like most people do, like it's intended to be done. So it makes adding mods also a pain. But all of these mods that I'm about to show you, as somebody who has no prior experience at all on doing this stuff, if I was able to do this, there's no reason why you guys can't do this. Because, like I said, other than the fact that I have computer IT knowledge, all of this stuff was just following instructions sent by these people who created these mods. Yes, I had to go underneath the Playfield for a couple of them, and I'll let you guys know. But it was super easy, and they tell you, hey, unplug this and plug in that. It's not like you're splicing wires or anything like that. It's all plug-and-play kind of stuff that you're going and doing. And I was impressed at myself, to be honest, that I got all of this stuff working as somebody who's never done this stuff before. So let's go ahead and start, because we got a lot of mods on this one to talk about. So let's go ahead and start with the 3D start button first as my number 1. Thing that we're going to talk about, and that is from Rocket City Pinball. And as you can see here, the start button here is lit up in purple, and it looks fantastic. This is the waffle that is sitting here on the start button. Of course, we all know the waffle, story behind Stranger Things, which is super, super cool. So having that as a start button instead of the usual start button was an awesome idea. And he makes other ones, not just for this one, for Stranger Things, but for other ones like Toy Story that I talked about on the other video there, or other machines as well. So I would definitely urge you guys to, check that out. And it was super easy to install. You unplug the button from the back and you push it out and push the springs out. The button comes out, you put in his, he gives you a purple bulb to put in there so it looks better with his purple bulb, and you're done. It's a very simple thing to plug and play, and really add some flair to your actual pinball machine. The next thing we're going to talk about here is, if you guys have Stranger Things and you're wondering, why does it seem like he has a lot more clips playing on the projector and on the back box that I usually don't see on this machine? If you guys are wondering that throughout the rest of this video, that is because somebody named Cleland, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, links will be down in the description for all of this stuff. And him, you have to actually contact on Pinside, so it's not like you have to buy it from him. It's basically just an SD card. So Stern just has an SD card with the game files that sits behind the back box here. And he created a, mod / files for the SD card that you download from him. And he has a bunch of different options, and they have more clips and more music that, they weren't able to license for the machine. So there's so much more music now on this machine, depending on what mode you're in, depending on, what game mode you're playing. You can see a lot more clips are playing more than usual on this machine that you don't see on the regular machine. And there's no reason not to do this. Anybody who owns a Stranger Things needs to, buy an SD card. It's really easy. You burn the image onto the SD card. You open up the back box. You take the SD card out that's sitting right there, and you put this one in. It doesn't get any easier. And then you have access to more variety of clips from different parts of the show and a lot more music that plays throughout different parts of the gameplay that makes sense. And it's super, super awesome hearing the iconic music and more of it. I wish they would have gotten that, from Stern, but hey, we got it one way or another, and it makes this machine even better than it was before to see these clips that you would have never seen before. I believe that the clips on this machine are from season 1, 2, and 3. It doesn't include 4 clips. It's just the first 3 that some of the clips go by, if I remember his stuff correctly. But yeah, super cool stuff. The next thing we're going to talk about here is from Space Coast Pinball, and really, really simple mod, but again, adds a nice touch to the machine. And that is the QR cover. So usually back here on the corner here, there would be a QR code that's over here that is talking about the Stern Pinball or Stern Insider Connect. I don't need the reminder. I already have the Insider Connect, sitting right here telling you to scan the QR code. It's just being advertised over here. And he created a little, magnetic decal, as you can see here, the iconic part from the show, that just magnetizes right to it. And you don't have to like peel the other one out or anything. It's just sitting underneath it, and you peel it and you put it right over it. It magnetizes, and you're done. Same thing with this one here. This was like the right here where Vecna is, right here under Stranger Things. There was just like a warning label and stuff like that they have to put on these machines. And instead of that, I have this Vecna sitting right here on the Stranger Things, which is obviously much more interesting than looking at those instructions. So simple thing. Again, it's just magnetized, and it sits right there magnetized, and it's good to go. But it is, something that adds a little bit of flair to the machine. So you don't have to see those advertisements from Stern for the QR code over there and this over here. So really awesome stuff. So check him out, that he creates these decals for these Stern type machines and elevates the machine to look a little bit better. The next one here is from someone on Pinside named You Bet My Wookie. And these are lenticular apron cards. So these are sitting right here, again, right next to the what we were just talking about. And you can see right here that these are 3D cards. And as you shift, I don't know if I can get it on camera very well, but as you shift there, you can see that as you move in different angles, it actually has the description of the game modes and stuff. As opposed to it being a piece of paper that was here before, it is now like these lenticular, sturdier cards that have this 3D effect, just like this one here is now like a Stranger Things logo right there that says Stern Pinball, and this one has the instructions. Over here, again, was an advertisement for Insider Connect, so this is much better than having the Insider Connect there. And sorry for the glare there. And this one here has the instructions bigger because it can have 2 sets of instructions depending on how you're looking at it, like this or like that. So now you can have 2 sets of instructions. Again, really cool additions from him, from You Bet My Wookie. Check him out. He makes these kind of apron cards for a bunch of variety of machines. The next mod we got to talk about here is the glow-in-the-dark rubbers. You can see I added them here to the flippers. These are the glow-in-the-dark rubbers that really do add. You can see them on the flippers here. You can see them over here on the side. And I added them there in the corner as well, into a couple of the posts there. And it does exactly what you would think. It makes it glow in the dark. But what it really stands out in is when you're playing the upside down, it really, really makes it stand out, because obviously, the way that it actually shows off the UV light kit and it hits it when you're playing that, really elevates it and makes it glow in the dark, and it's just super cool. I recommend everyone replace their, rubbers and stuff like that from Titan Pinball and put this on the machine, because again, with the combination of the UV light kit that we haven't talked about yet and those, it really is, the upside down really takes to another level with the flippers being glow in the dark. It's super cool. So, and of course, really simple to do. You literally just take a couple of screws out on some of them, or a couple of nuts and stuff like that, and then you put these on it, and then you're kind of done. The flippers, you don't got to do anything. You just literally put them over it, and you're done. These, you got to take a couple of the posts out, and then take the screw out and the nut, and then you just put that over it. Same for those in the corner, but super easy stuff, and really elevates it. Glow-in-the-dark rubbers and stuff like that. Really, really awesome for a table like this. I don't know if it needs to be done on every pinball machine, but on one that has the upside down and stuff, it just really elevates it when you're in that mode. The next thing we got to talk about is another keychain that we added here. So this is where I usually add something with a keychain. You can see this is 11 sitting right here that I got off of Amazon. Really simple keychain, but just adds a little bit of flair to the machine there. Her is a little Funko Pop dangling there on the keychain. Again, I got those from Amazon. Now, the next thing we got to talk about, which are amazing, are the speaker grills. And man, these are awesome. Now, I'm not talking about the lights. We haven't gotten to those yet. Those are awesome, but just pay attention to the actual speaker grills. Look at this speaker grill that's made specifically from Stranger Things. This is from Pin Effects. You can reach out to them on Pinside and stuff like that. And this looks amazing. Just look at the iconic there. Them going on the bikes and stuff like that, all represented. And then over here, where Eleven's sitting in the forest and stuff like that, it just looks super good, especially with the lights that we'll talk about here in a minute. That's obviously reflecting, because obviously if you don't have any lights on the back box there and lighting them up, obviously you're not going to see it. So you can't just put that grill effect there without lights behind it, obviously. But the lights are from someone else, but these grill effects are amazing for Stranger Things. Really easy to put on, of course. You just, place them behind there and that's it. Really, really easy mod. And they look fantastic. Jersey Jack decided to start talking there in Toy Story. But yeah, super, super, super cool. And again, it's a real standout. When people come over and they haven't seen this yet, they're going to be like, holy crap, that looks cool. And it definitely does. It really elevates the machine. Before, there was nothing there. It was just the grills. There was nothing. This is so much better and looks amazing. So shout out to him. And he makes a bunch of other ones as well. The next thing here is a variety of things that I added on the Playfield from the ULEK store, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And I added a bunch of things from him, pretty simple things to add to the actual machine, again, to kind of elevate it. The first one here is the Welcome to Hawkins there. On the side, you can see the Welcome to Hawkins sign that sits right there. And it's just a screw that goes in there. As you can see on the back, it's just being held by a screw there. And it just kind of sits there. And then you can see the Welcome to Hawkins sign right there, which is super awesome. I know it's a little bit hard to see there. But just a Welcome to Hawkins sign, I think, kind of reflected the nature of this. And I thought that was really cool. Then there is Beware of the Demogorgon that's sitting right here. Technically, when you buy this from him, this is technically supposed to be right there where the white piece is on the top, right here. But I didn't put it there because obviously I have a projector. That's meant more like if you don't have the projector version and you have the regular Pro edition, but I have the premium with the projector. So obviously I don't want to stick it on there because the projector projects things on there. So I found a new home for it, and Beware of the Demogorgon being right here is, I think, a good spot for it. But just know that, it's intended to be over there. But that's another thing that I got from him as well. That's super awesome. I also got these Friends Don't Lie little stickers that go on the flippers. You can see it right there. Friends Don't Lie, iconic saying from the actual show, and it really makes these flippers pop. It looks super crisp. It looks super good, as you guys are seeing here in the video. Really simple mod. You just stick them on there and you're done. And it looks fantastic. So yeah, shout out to him. Really cool stuff that I added to this machine, and really simple to do. The next thing I added to this machine, there was no lights on this machine, whether it be on the bottom or the back. These are just Gobi lights that I got from Amazon. You could get away with 16.4 feet, but I did come up a little bit short on the actual back portion here, which you guys can probably see here. You can see I came up a little bit short. I could have gone all the way to the top, and I couldn't come all the way back down. I had to stop right there, so maybe get the 13 point. The problem is that then you go up to 32 feet, double, and that's just way too big, because I did go on the bottom and cover everything on the bottom, as you guys are looking at there. So I went around the whole entire thing, but unfortunately, couldn't go around it here. But there's still plenty of light that shines on the back, which is the whole point, is that it shines on the back there in red, as you guys are looking at back there. I made Stranger Things red because that seemed to make the most sense. And yeah, they're Gobi lights. They're fantastic. Not much else to say. I added that for the bottom like I did to my other machines here. This one being yellow and this one being blue. And, looks fantastic when, everyone's down here playing pinball and the lights are off. The next thing we got to talk about is those speaker lights that are sitting on the back there. And these are speaker light kits. And these are fantastic. And you guys are seeing some of that in action. And you've been seeing that throughout the entire video. And there are a couple of things that I wanted to make sure that we shout out to here, because Speaker Light Kits is actually the original creators of these light kits. There's a lot of knockoffs out there nowadays, it seems, and they're the original ones. And a lot of the knockoffs don't include some of the big things that this thing kind of, shouted out that makes these things important and makes it do these cool effects that you guys are looking at here, which is the custom LED controller that it comes with. So it makes these light frames match up perfectly with the actual frame that's on there. And you guys can see that right here. It looks fantastic. The lights are perfectly in sync. Some of the knockoffs out there, their lights won't look as evenly lit. It won't look as good as it does on here. And it doesn't include that custom controller that I talked about. So you can see how smooth these transitions are. And I have it on a mode right now that basically just cycles through all of these different things. Because I want to see different things. So sometimes it'll be purple, blue. You can see it scrolling through. It does different pattern effects as you guys are looking at here. And let me actually show you what I'm talking about with the actual controller that I have hidden right here. So here is the actual custom controller that I'm talking about that he includes with it. And yes, you can just sit here and change everything and stuff like that. It's not like you have to hit a sensor or anything. It works just fine with that. But what's really cool about this, especially with other ones not including it, is, and that I really, really liked about this one, is that there's a lot of different lights that it does. Like, it's cycling through, like, I don't know exactly how many there are, but there's like over 40 that I've counted so far. And I'm talking about, like, different colors that it's cycling through, or the way that it cycles through. You can see like the different pattern that it's going through. You'll see other patterns as we're talking about in this video as we continue to progress, and you've seen some before. And what's cool is you can either set it on a mode that cycles through all of them, or you can set a specific one, of course, or if you see one that you like and you can add it to favorites, you can add it to a DIY list on the actual app right here. So you can hit plus DIY if you see an effect that you like, and you can save a bunch of these to a DIY list, and then you can have the DIY place play only. So you only select like, 7, 8, 9 of your favorites on here on the DIY list, and then it will only cycle through those instead of the, 40 plus that it's cycling through right now for me to show you guys. But it is super cool, and you can see this effect here. It's kind of like spinning around and stuff, so it's different than the other one, the way that it does it there. So again, there's a lot of different variety of what these lights can do, but it's not even just the variety that makes it shine. It's how good it looks, how evenly it all looks lit up, and you guys are seeing that in the video. Everything just looks perfectly lit. And the custom controller, again, that DIY list is an awesome feature. Not a lot of other ones out there do it, where you can have a custom favorites list and save it and add stuff to it and delete it if you want to with this custom controller, and select different modes and stuff, and even adjust the speed that these things are going at and all that kinds of stuff. And this custom controller that it comes with is awesome. And I really, really like it. And it was not hard to install. I did get a little bit nervous. This is probably the most thing I was nervous about to install the most, because it was a little bit more involved than most of the mods on this machine that I was doing, because you did have to open up the back box. And I obviously already installed these, so I can't do a tutorial video on how to install these, but he does give you a great guide that I followed, and I asked him a question or two and he answered immediately. But basically, there is a light bracket there on the back, and I can show you guys. So you can see I have the back box here opened, and you can see what's actually happening here. So the LED lights are sitting on the bottom here, and this is the bracket that he gives you. And then you put that on the bracket, you screw it in. One thing to note, because I was an idiot and didn't read his instructions correctly, is that there are 2 screws that come on the monitor. That the original plate that this thing came with is on, and that's how the monitor doesn't move. When I was putting this back on and I looked at it, I was like, hey, look, it doesn't match up. I have no way to screw this back into the monitor. How's the monitor going to hold? Because the plate is now too high. Well, that's because the actual LEDs on the side that this connects to, it's like a magnet strip, and you just pull the magnet strip away, which is a great design, and then the screw holes align perfectly in there, and then you just put the magnet strips back on. So the LED lights are actually magnet. I can't show you because it's all screwed down, but just keep that in mind when you're looking at this, that this has to be obviously screwed back in, and that's almost the thing that I messed up because I didn't know how to read instructions. But yeah, it's super, super easy to install, obviously, as you can see. And, this installs on here. You follow his instructions, and then you have like this power that comes out from it right here. It's a splitter that splits from both of them. You have a splitter that attaches, and then it goes down into your cabinet and kind of lays underneath the cabinet here. You lift up the Playfield, and it goes into where it kind of sits back there. And then there's also the power source that it needs, and you actually have to open up this. This is what I was nervous about before. Obviously, you have to have your whole entire machine turned off when you do this and unplug it from the back. But you basically have to get into here and take this nut off here and this nut off right here. And you take this back box off, and there's like a wire that you're looking for in there that he showed you which one to look for that's empty or should be empty. And then you just, connect it to that and you're good. And that's basically what I did. It was actually a lot easier than I expected it to be. I thought it was going to be more complicated, and I thought I was going to have, you know, more issues and stuff like that because I was nervous about touching the power and opening things up that I've never seen before, especially when I just got the machine. But it ended up being really, really easy and not a big deal at all. And like I said, if I can do it, anybody can do it because I never had a pinball machine before, and there's no reason. And it's highly recommended. If you have a Stranger Things machine, this mod is amazing. You can see it for yourself with those effects of the grills that I talked about before. As you guys are still looking at these, and then his speaker light kits, this is just outstanding. The next mod that we got to talk about here, that's a really simple addition, is from Amazon. It's the Demodog that's sitting right there. I just added him here on the playfield. He's huge, as you can see him there in the corner. He looks super awesome there on the playfield. It adds a little bit more spark there to the playfield. It doesn't get in the way of anything. Fits perfectly, and it was really cheap. It was like 10 bucks on Amazon. And, you know, it's definitely detailed enough, and it makes a great addition to the actual playfield. The next one here that I got from Mezzo Mods is this baseball bat that goes right here where the ball actually comes up. Again, another really easy mod, but it looks fantastic. Look at that. The baseball bat being on there. It has some blood on it with the nails sticking out and stuff like that. It's literally just take out these two screws that were there before, take them out and put them right back onto this, and you're done. And it really makes it look that much better when the ball is plunging through here. To see that baseball bat that's iconic from season 1 and have it, you know, with that blood and with those nails and stuff, it just adds a super cool detail to the actual machine, and I really, really like it. Another thing that also came from Mezzo Mods that I ordered from them as well is a trough light kit. So here's a trough right here, and one of the things I added is some lights back here. And you can see I chose red. They have different colors that you can do, but I chose the red because the fire that is sitting right here next to Shoot Again, obviously with it lighting up red, it kind of matches the fire that was already designed on the playfield. And you can see it's really easy to install. There is a light strip that goes there and kind of goes on the bottom, and then it just connects. If you open up the coin door here, it actually connects really easily. You just open up the coin door, and then it just connects to the side here on one of the areas right here. So really easy to actually install, and it just connects to that board right there to the empty slot that he tells you to in the instructions, and then you're done. Like I said, a lot of it seems complicated because you're messing with wires, and that's what I was nervous about and going underneath the playfield, but essentially it's all plug and play. Because you're taking a wire and plugging it into a spot that they're telling you to plug it in. I mean, it's pretty simple stuff as far as that goes. The other thing is an official mod from Stern that I got, even though I didn't get it officially from Stern. I did get it from Coin Takers, but it is the official dice replacement here that lights up an LED. This thing looks fantastic here. The plunger, it looks super good with that blue LED, and of course the iconic dice sitting right here. Really, really cool. It's actually huge too. It looks awesome. And again, this one, you actually had to take this off because you had to get the LED. So it gives you a back plate to install in the back that you just take the screws on the back out. That was a little bit complicated to do all this by myself because I didn't have any help for any of these mods that I did. So taking those two screws out while attempting to hold the playfield, even though I can't get it up and put it up against it like everyone else probably can, I made this a little bit challenging and take longer than it should have. But essentially, you're just removing the screws from the back and then putting this plate back on with this new. It should be a lot faster if you can actually lift the playfield like you're supposed to, as opposed to me, who had to do this all on his own and finagle that playfield in the air while also taking the screws out at the same time. And then you just take that cable and the LED and you plug it into that same control panel that I just showed you before into the slots that they tell you to, and then you're on your way. And it looks fantastic just like this. And it looks super, super awesome. One of the other things that I got from CoinTaker as well is the Friends Don't Lie button, as you can see right here. So this is, again, the iconic scene with them on the bikes, and you can see Friends Don't Lie kind of sitting around that. If I get close to that there for you guys, there you go. Just a little bit of flair. Again, obviously, you just stick this on. It's a sticker on this one, and it just sticks on, and you're kind of good to go. And it just adds a little bit of flair to the actual button area that kind of matches the Stranger Things as opposed to being all black. So I like that as well. Now, these next two mods were probably the ones I was nervous about the most, except for the speaker light kit that I talked about before. I think that was the one I was nervous for the most because I knew it was the most involved, but it ended up not being bad at all. But it was the most involved. But these two that I'm about to talk about are on the same level. As far as me being nervous, because I knew I was going to have to get under the playfield and actually connect them. The first one is the arcade sign that you can see spinning back there in the corner. And now, they sell two versions of this on CoinTakers. This is from CoinTakers as well. that I got this from. You can get the one that I got, which is a little bit cheaper, or much cheaper actually, that it basically continuously spins as you guys are looking at right here. It's always spinning. There's also one that you can let it be game controlled, and it was like $150 more if I remember correctly, and I was like, yeah, no, I'd rather just have it spin the whole time. Basically what it does is when you actually light up the quarter hunt here on the table, it basically has a sensor that goes right next to that light, and then it knows that it has to spin when that sensor goes off and sees the light of that being activated. So this gets its power, from one of the things in the back box there. It was, again, really easy and no reason for me to go crazy like I was. And I was like, oh my God, I gotta connect these wires, and I don't know if I know how to do these mods. And again, all of these mods that I told you, anybody can do. It was super easy to do, and they give you instructions, and there's no reason to not do it if you're nervous, because it really isn't that hard at all. And the other one was this Dig Dug mod. Now this Dig Dug arcade machine is actually really, really cool, because it actually shows the Dig Dug game being played, but it only activates when that same exact quarter hunt actually gets activated. But this one, there wasn't two options. There wasn't like that one, and it wasn't a lot more to get one that's not game activated. This one was, and it does the exact same thing. You take a little light sensor that basically you go underneath the playfield and find the quarter hunt, and you kind of stick it in the GE bulb that's sitting right there. And basically when that bulb lights up, it knows that bulb for quarter hunt, it's lighting up, and that's how it knows to activate that. And it's just super cool to see Dig Dug kind of playing and stuff like that when it's lit up, and it plays Dig Dug there in the background. And obviously that's awesome. And obviously, arcades are a big thing that you see throughout the Stranger Things series, so it's cool to have a little flair back there with an arcade machine of Dig Dug kind of playing, especially when it's activated based on the quarter hunt there, which is awesome. And then the last personal mod that I added to the machine, we still got other mods to talk about, but this is the last one I personally added, is of course this cup. And I got this cup off of eBay. They do have a couple of other options as well for Stranger Things, but this is the one I chose. It says Stranger Things, and then it has the upside down on the cup, as you can see, and then on the reverse side with that there. So I like having cup holders on all my pinball machines, and this one was a great addition. Now, those are all the mods that I personally added to the machine, but of course I have mods that already came on this machine beforehand that we haven't talked about yet. Of course, we got the #1 must-have mod for this machine, bar none, and that is the UV light kit, which of course is on here and looks fantastic. I can't really show you right now because we're not in the upside down, but yes, the UV light kit is on here. Can't have a Stranger Things without that mod. It should have came with the machine, but it doesn't, and it is the #1 mod that you have to do, because it makes the machine so much cooler when the upside down happens, especially with these glow-in-the-dark flippers and stuff. It's an amazing experience that no other game kind of provides to you, and makes you feel like you're in the upside down, and really elevates the game. I think a lot of people already know that already. Then I also had these light up buttons that they already added as well. So you can see that those are purple, as you can see, on both sides. So we got some LED flippers lit up there. That was another mod that came with the machine when I bought it. We have of course, a shaker motor, which is another must-have. The shaker motor is installed, so the table obviously shakes depending on the different events and stuff. So that's like a stirred add-on. That also already came with the machine, and that was ready to go. It also we have the ABCD alphabet sign back there that lights up right next to the Dig Dug that you guys have probably seen already. That was a mod that they already had on the machine. So great to have that back there. Again, obviously, really iconic scene from Stranger Things Season 1, with that being on the wall and stuff. So it was super cool to have that on there. And then the last one that was actually on the machine is the internal art blades, as you can see right there. So you can see them on the left side there, and it definitely elevates the machine to not having those blank walls. I really do like that is on here, and it really just adds to the machine, artwork and stuff. So when you're looking at it, there's not really any empty spaces or anything like that. All right, guys, thank you guys for watching this video and checking it out. So those are all the different mods that I have. Now, a lot of people always ask me, all right, so you have all these mods. Is there any mods that you haven't done yet that you would like to do on Stranger Things that you just haven't gotten to or are impossible to get? And I would say that there's 2 different mods on this machine that I would consider wanting that I don't have currently, and that's because they're just not readily available, and I have my name on the list. One of them is the projector screen. There's actually a guy out there that, I forget his name right now off the top of my head. I'll have to put him down in the links if someone reminds me. But it changes the actual fabric that Stern used on this screen to like a grayscale kind of thing. And it makes, according to the video, I haven't seen it in person, it makes the projector appear so much clearer when you're looking at it because of the material that's being used, and it's apparently like a lot of people's #1 mod besides the UV light kit. But he's not making them anymore, at least not right now. He said he's gonna, I reached out to him, he said he might make more later this year. He's taking interest on his website. So if you guys want it and you have a Stranger Things, follow it and subscribe so he knows how many of these to make and that there's interest out there, because from what I hear, it's amazing. So, and he does technically make a full kit where you replace all of the white things that are on the projector on here. So you can put everything that's white on the playfield that the projector projects onto into his grayscale. For me, I just want the screen because that's kind of, you know, the main focal point. I just want to change out the screen, and it's easy because the screen material that it gives you could actually go right on top of the screen of what's actually currently there. You don't need to rip off what's there, where on the other ones you do, because then it creates too thick and then, you know, a ball might have issues. So I'd rather keep it simple, and the screen's the most important thing anyway. So that would be the one mod that I would want that hopefully I can get to later this year, and I'll definitely make a video if I do get that from him. And he makes that. And then the second thing that I would want that people have been talking about, and I definitely don't know this one off the top of my head, the name, but it's a mod that basically replaces this whole entire top section into like a 3D model that adds like the wall from season 1 that they go into the upside down and stuff. And it's just a really cool recreation of the area right here in the back that really replaces it all. It looks super, super awesome. I wish I had a picture right now to show you guys. But it looks super awesome, and I definitely recommend you guys. I definitely want to add that to the machine. The unfortunate thing is that there's a gigantic. Not only is it really, really expensive, $800 for it right now, to get that like 3D modeling kit, because it's modeled out in 3D and 3D printed and everything, and has LED lights and everything. Looks super awesome, but it's also just not readily available. The person's making it, and there's a gigantic list to this day that people are still adding to be added to it. So I threw my name on the list. God knows if I'll ever hear from them and when they'll get to me on the list. But those would be the top tier mods that I would want. Those two mods, and then I'm kind of, you know, I might do other random things that aren't that important, like changing something out. But nothing really comes to mind besides the mods that I did that I really wanted to do besides those two. But if you guys have anything that you guys have seen on Stranger Things that you think is cool that I don't have and I didn't mention and you think I should, definitely leave those comments down below, because you guys know I'm always interested in that stuff. And maybe I just don't know about mods because there's so many out there. Maybe there's some cool stuff that I could add that I don't know about. So definitely let me know. And yeah, this thing is fantastic, guys. I really love this machine and all the different mods I've done. I play this machine right now more than Toy Story because I just love Stranger Things IP. I love Insider Connect and just all of that going on and getting achievements. So it's adding a lot of fun to it. And the mods and the UV light kit are really elevating it. So those are all the different mods I did. I hope that helps you guys out if you guys have a Stranger Things or are looking to get one. If you guys have any questions, guys, as always, leave them down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Till next time.